Robocop hit the big screen in 1987 and was directed by Paul Verhoeven. Produced on the budget of $13 million, it went on to gross $53 million in the United States alone, making it a smash hit, considering it's an 18-rated movie. Robocop was the first major Hollywood production for Paul Verhoeven, who had recently risen to fame for the Dutch movie Soldier of Orange. His first English-language film, Flesh and Blood, was released in 1985 and was a box office bomb. The script was written by Edward Neumeier and Michael Miner, who were turned down by almost every director and studio in Hollywood. They probably never read the script when they saw the title. But luckily, Orion Pictures took interest in the project after having success with The Terminator a few years earlier, and were looking to capitalise on that success with something similar. Fun fact, the original Robocop trailer contains music from The Terminator.
Anything you say may be used against you.
He's a cyborg, you idiot!
When Paul Verhoeven was handed the script for Robocop, he more or less discarded it immediately, thinking it was another stupid robot movie. Thankfully, his wife read it and told him there's a lot more substance to the plot than he previously realised. The film's emotional core and themes then interested him in the project. The film is set in Detroit, but production filmed in several locations, such as Dallas City Hall, which had a futuristic look to it. But the majority of filming took place in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. But while filming in the hot summer of 1986, this caused a bit of friction between the crew. In the film's early stages, actors such as Arnold Schwarzenegger, Michael Ironside, Rutger Hauer and James Remar were all considered to play the lead role of Murphy. The studio favoured Arnold Schwarzenegger due to his recent success with The Terminator and because of his build. However, they would need an actor of slim physique who could fit into the suit. Peter Weller recently starred in the adventures of Buckaroo Banzai. Weller also brought in mime artist Moni Yakim to assist him with the robotic movements. But when it came time to put on the suit for the first time, which almost took 10 hours, he could barely move. He then spent weeks slowing his movements down, defining the style needed to bring across the robotic movements. Set in the near future, Detroit is on the verge of collapse and being overrun by crime. The city then grants megacorporation OCP to take control of the police force. This move angers the police officers, who are then considering going on strike, while OCP are considering other options for law enforcement. Senior President Dick Jones presents Ed 209, a law enforcement droid, but suffers a small setback. The OCP chairman is very disappointed and decides to go with an experimental cyborg program called Robocop, suggested by Bob Morton. Officer Alex Murphy, who has just been transferred from Metro South, meets his new partner Anne Lewis. On the pair's first patrol together, they hunt down a local gang led by Clarence Boddicker. The pair chase the gang down to an abandoned steel mill, where Murphy is brutally gunned down and pronounced dead at the hospital. Murphy is then resurrected as Robocop, where he has to follow 3 prime directives.
What are your prime directives?
Serve the public trust, protect the innocent, uphold the law.
Robocop is then sent out to clean up the streets of Detroit. Meanwhile, Anne Lewis begins to recognise mannerisms that Murphy once displayed and realises that Robocop is Murphy.
Murphy, it's you.
But when Murphy has a dream about his past life, he begins to investigate his own murder and bring those who killed him to justice. Robocop has a great blend of special effects, from POV shots, matte paintings and stop motion work from the great Phil Tippett. The effects are very impressive for a film that had a relatively small budget. The matte paintings are that detailed, you can't tell it's a painting unless someone points it out to you. The stop motion on Ed 209 has a good fluid of movement to it and still looks very impressive after all these years. The droid has that menacing voice in that aggressive tone, and even though Ed 209 doesn't get much screen time, it has become one of the most popular robots in movie history. Rob Bottin produces some of his best work. The Robocop suit looks incredible, and the effect on when Murphy is gunned down looks realistic. Other effects throughout the film, such as the gang member that gets melted by radioactive waste, and when Robocop takes off his helmet to reveal Murphy, the details are just insane. The only weak effect in the film is where Dick Jones is shot and falls out of a window to his death. They replace the actor with a miniature, but the arms are too long and the shot looks silly. Basil Poledouris composed the score for the film, combining heavy percussion and electronic synthesizers. As soon as the film starts, the music grabs you and pulls you into the world of the movie. He manages to create a memorable theme for Robocop himself, and you won't forget it after you've watched the movie. There is that emotional theme where Murphy goes back to his old house only to discover that his wife and son have moved away. There is no electronic music throughout the scene, and it is a piece of music that tugs at the heartstrings. I was a little late to the party and didn't see Robocop until I was in my early 20s, when it appeared on Netflix. It was a film I always wanted to watch, but somehow never got round to it. And when I finally did watch it, it blew me away. This film's got it all. The action scenes are brilliant, and you are fully behind Robocop when he starts to take out the bad guys. The humour throughout is top notch, even in scenes that include violence. Paul Verhoeven just has this ability to blend over the top violence and humour that makes you laugh every time. The violence is not the main focus of the film, with clever use of satire taking elements of the economic climate and the capitalist issues of the time, along with some deep emotional themes. The film rises above just being another mindless action film. Just like any 80s action movie, it does have some memorable dialogue and great one-liners. All the cast give strong and memorable performances. They're all great to watch. Kurtwood Smith is extremely intimidating as Clarence Boddicker. The character isn't tough or strong, but then again he doesn't need to be. When you see the list of crimes and you look into this guy's eyes, you can tell this guy's a fucking psycho. All of his gang members are great and each provide good humour throughout the film. But to me, Leon is the best. When he thinks he's destroyed Robocop, he's celebrating away, then Anne Lewis just blows him away. Nancy Allen as Anne Lewis is a good supporting character. The chemistry between Lewis and Murphy is there from the get-go. She shows she can handle herself by beating the shit into criminals and isn't just some love interest for Murphy, but a strong, independent woman. She helps Murphy remember his true self and remains a loyal friend until the end of the movie. Throughout the film, there are moments where Murphy becomes human again. While having a fight with Ed 209, you can see his eye through the cracked visor. He also shows us his vulnerability. When the police turn up to shoot Robocop, he struggles to get up and walk away. It's a powerful moment within the film. He also has that robotic tone to his voice, but when he removes his helmet, he sounds like Murphy again, to show us that he has found some of his humanity. With the film being successful, there have been sequels, TV shows, and a remake throughout the years. 1990 saw the release of Robocop 2. While the film kept with the levels of violence, it lacked the charm or the satire of its predecessor. I find Robocop 2 okay. It's not a terrible movie. There are moments of enjoyment, but the final battle between Robocop and Kane is definitely the best bit. I have not watched Robocop 3. Peter Weller did not return as Murphy, and I heard it's a terrible movie aimed at younger audience. It's rated 12 when the previous installments were rated 18. There was a live-action TV series made with Richard Eden as Robocop. I never knew there was a live-action series of Robocop until I was doing research for this review. But by the sound of it, the show was aimed at a younger audience because Robocop doesn't kill anybody. Then in 2014, Robocop got the remake treatment. And just like with most modern remakes, they removed all the violence, satire and humour and made a very serious film. But when fans got their first look at the new suits, which was bland and black, it failed to impress and it failed at the box office. I have not watched the remake since I saw it in cinema all those years ago. Overall, Robocop is a classic of the 80s that is very rewatchable, has some deep themes that still resonate today, and I will never get bored of watching it. My rating for Robocop is 8.5 out of 10. Please share your thoughts in the comments below, and if you've enjoyed the review, please subscribe and hit the like button to help make the channel grow. Part man, part machine, all cop. Thanks for watching the Real Reviews.
Dead or alive, you are coming with me.